Okay.
So I live in, I guess I live in the DMV, and
Okay.
my office that I run is in Baltimore.
Okay.
So the subtle difference with that is Baltimore is a little bit different than the rest of Maryland, so to speak, right? From a DMV perspective, DMV is pretty much surrounding areas of DC, and Baltimore, while we're only 50 miles away, is its own city, right? So it's not a surrounding area of another city when it's its own. So that's really the distinction that you have there. My own personal business, I covered a lot of territory, right? My real estate business and what I drive and what I go through there is mostly around my home where I do, I coach, I work with the PTA. So anything that's around that area is the easiest for me just from logistic standpoints to get in and out. Anything that's outside of that area, I'm referring out, or I have another business venture that takes care of it for me. So
Okay.
yeah, kind of gives a little bit of some of the logistics for me.
Indeed, indeed. And it's funny, I feel like I know a few things about you, but one thing I didn't know, and so the director of relationships, what is that? What is that?
All
Right?
right. So when I took over, all right. So the backstory to this is um, our ownership group when we brought the brokerage, right? We were in that mix of we want to do things the same, but sometimes you just need a different name, a different feel, a different energy to it.
Yes.
So we actually had a conversation with our top 20%, our ALC, and what I wanted to be in charge of, yes, I'm in charge of profitability. I'm in charge of ensuring our production is where it needs to be. I'm in charge of our growth. I'm in charge of the overall well-being of the brokerage and the investment that I made into helping own and run a brokerage, right? And in having that conversation, they were like, look, having a title that specifically says recruiting doesn't do you any favors. Having a title that just says team leader is somewhat confusing because are you just a team leader of your team leader of the brokerage? Does that mean the brokerage runs as a team? There was just some confusion that was there. And as we were having conversations, one thing that my brain always just spits out different ideas and going forward. And it was like at the end of the day, what I handle the most is the relationships that we have around. And that just clicked and said, you know what? I'm the director of relationships. So
Indeed.
it's a very unique title, and in true entrepreneur, crazy ADHD fashion that we all have, yeah, it was something I made up on the spot, and it just caught
I
like
love
fire, and I'm running with it.
you know what? And see, now that you've put it out there, many will duplicate it because I feel the exact same way. When I was looking for to utilize some leverage, I know most rainmakers, they all have an assistant. So you
Mhm.
see mine, Destiny, here on the screen, possibly. And I thought, you know what? That role encompasses so many different things and some unique things. And I thought, I'm not calling her my assistant because I just that didn't feel
Sounds
as
like it's
as
what you
high
need.
level as I wanted. So she's in control of so many different things, and so she's my success manager, right?
Okay, I
And
like that.
so yeah, and so I've had a number of folks go, Ben, I like it. I think I'm stealing that, and I'm like, whatever, we're family, right?
Yeah.
So
Look,
whatever
if it
works for
works, I take it as a flatter. Anytime I see somebody using something I've created or running with
you.
it or just wanting to be more, that's we're in a business of so and I steal from a lot of people too, but we're in a business of abundance.
Yes.
And if you're in that business of abundance, you can't be so concerned that you have to hoard everything as close and near dear to you because things shift overnight and everything that you hold near and dear could be obsolete tomorrow.
Yeah.
And if you were holding it like that and you were gatekeeping when somebody else has an opportunity and they bring it to you, then they know if you're going to be that person that won't share, that won't collaborate, that just won't be interactive, then how can I bring any opportunities to you? I mean,
Right.
even when we started before my internet clicked out, you saw a meeting that was taking place in office. Very impromptu,
Yes.
but it was some of our leadership, some of our tenured agents who have been working on different projects, and they're like, "Look, this is what we had. What's the next step? What should we do?" And when you're somebody who wants to give and wants to help, yeah, then they come to you for advice, and then that's where truth be told, a lot of opportunities come our way too, right?
100%.
So if you know what you need to manage and you know what you need to go through, it makes all the difference in the world. See, I talk a lot, so you ask one question, I might go on a tirade
Hey,
for 20, 30
hey,
minutes.
no, I love it.
Um,
I love it.
so even in that thought process of director relationships, right? I'm going to tell you, I've been through and I'm on a journey, right? Um, I talk in stories, so forgive me if I talk in a circle. Trust me, the story will come back around unless I forget, and then just remind me. Um, I'm having a conversation with my son about, and he's 12 years old, and he's in the midst of life changing. And I'm talking to him about you have to know who you are. It doesn't matter what comes to you, doesn't matter what challenges you face. If you know who you are, you will make the right decision. And even if that decision in the moment leads you down the wrong path, leads you through more challenges, it will be the right decision for you. And you can go to sleep at night and you can feel confident in who you are. Well, I can have that conversation with him, but I'm on the same journey, right? Now, the one thing that I know about myself is for me to go to sleep at night, I have to provide value to somebody through the course of the day. Doesn't matter what that value is about, right? Like my hands touch different things, but I have to provide value for me to go home and feel like I did something today. So that's who I am. So even when it comes back to the title, I have multiple relationships that I have to manage that I have to go through. You can call me a TL, you can call me a managing director, you can call me a CEO, you can call me a venture capitalist, a silent partner. You can call me all those things, but at the end of the day, I'm managing relationships through them all. So I know who I am. I know what I have to go through, and being a director of relationships is that one key for me to take care of everything that I have to go through and do.
I love it. Again, it's so, and I think today, leadership has to be able to sometimes be all encompassing. Have to be able to shift and pivot on a dime, right? And I think with that being said, I think Gary mentioned it in his shift book, and I won't recite it properly, but what's one area that you guys are having to either pivot and or shift, in this challenging market we
Ooh,
find ourselves in?
a great question, layered answer. Um, all right. From a leader's perspective, the biggest shift that I'm making right now is understanding what we have done the last few years. You had somebody who was fully committed in almost what 1 to 2 meetings, ready to go. And if they weren't, you could call the next person and find that person immediately to go forward. So, what skill set, as far as being a real estate agent, did you have to have then? All right, let's think about what you transition into because a shift happened. You go through the COVID era. The COVID era, it made it very easy again, where you had people who all of a sudden had money out of everywhere and they were sitting on hordes of it, made it very easy for them to come in, want to purchase a home, and go forward without that much of a challenge, without you having to do anything skill based to help guide that person through this transaction.
Right.
We became transaction managers versus actual agents and stewards to help somebody get to their goal. So what happens after COVID? After COVID, you got zero, you got super low interest rate levels, right? And this isn't creative financing. You got fixed rates where some of us have homes that are fixed at 2.125%. I have another that was fixed on a 15-year at 1.875%. So you had a super low interest rate environment where again, you have a buyer comes in who's ready to go within what 1 to 2 appointments they're out, they are fully committed searching to find a home. So then on the opposite side, you have the sellers who they don't have to do much because you have such motivated buyers or such easy, consistent buyers that for a seller, I just put my home on the market. And for the last up to 10 years, house goes on, the house is going to sell. Whether it sells for more than what I asked for or slightly less, it doesn't matter. I put it on, it sells. I don't have to do much else. My agent doesn't have to do much else. So you get lawsuits that come in because now people are questioning the value that we bring. We became transaction managers. So my thought process and what I'm going through is realizing that as a brokerage owner, and you're seeing it now that now it's becoming a more challenging market for everybody. You actually have to have the skills. People are now returning into trainings because I actually need to know what work I need to do to get this buyer to now fully be committed and part of the process. Like, and to tell you that I'm in it with all of us, this is a text that just came through. Hey, what's up? Hope all is well. Just wanted to give you a heads up on where we stand. If the offer isn't accepted, we're going to renew our lease instead of settling for any other homes. Like now, I got to go through and have that full conversation with them because there is a real situation of why they need to move and go forward. But do we have the skill set? And as a leader, have we been teaching that skill set? And we haven't had to. So we've been recruiting, we've been bringing people into our brokerage, and this isn't just a us thing, but we've brought people in where it's pretty much just take advantage of the market and we'll try to make it the easiest path as possible for you versus actually taking that time to go through shift, to go through MREA, to actually teach you what's needed. Now, here's the opposite side. As the agent, I don't care what you're teaching. I got businesses at my door right now. I need it. And I just need to go. So don't stand in my way of what I can take advantage of. So that's the conundrum that right now trying to work through and trying to figure out a better way that we can position not just our education, but us as leaders inside of this industry of what we're facing. How do you take that challenge and how do you use it to move forward in your business? And I think it's interesting. I don't think we got here overnight. I think it was subtle things that happened, but now we're in a position where your skills will make all the difference in the world. Or do
Right.
you find something that stands you apart from everything else, but you have to have the skill base to understand how to use whatever that leverage is that puts you ahead of everybody else?
Absolutely. Wow. Again, I think the agents who are winning in this market are the ones who are shifting and are pivoting, and or who are learning base, who understand that again, what got you to this point won't get you to the next level,
Yep.
especially when things are so challenging like they are. So that being said, I think that's a great transition into there's something you guys are utilizing there in your market that we haven't seen here.
Yeah.
Is it the Home Sales Plus? Is that the name
It's
of it?
home sale dot plus.
Okay, that plus. Okay.
That is, I'm going to tell you, it has been kind of and I'm leery of saying this phrase, magic
Yeah,
bullet,
I understand.
because,
I understand.
there is no magic bullets, right? You have to
100%.
do the work.
Right.
But even from the conversation I had this morning about lead generating, and, I think I saw on one of the social media platforms somebody asking, like, hey, my team leader, my coach told me to be making cold calls. I need to do 5 of them a day. I've been doing it. It hasn't been successful. Okay. So you don't have a will issue because you've been doing it. But now, if we need to work on our skill is what are you saying on those conversations? How are you guiding that conversation? What's leading you through? What Home Sale Plus has allowed our agents to do is it's allowed them to go out and have an actual conversation to grab more listings. And what they've been able to say is something simple as this: I can actually show you something that no other agent can bring to you. If you're calling an expired, if you're calling and one of the homes that they want to write offer on is going to go into an expired, so that agent is trying to pull a miracle to get them to choose that house. Um, if you call that a or that seller and you say, look, I know you've had the home on the market, but when I tell you I'm coming out and I'm going to show you something that no other agent has gone through, typically the response is, sure you will. That's what they all say. You say, no, I promise you this will be something different. And if it's not, I will leave immediately. You now have something that gives you something that makes that seller enticed to have your conversation, to listen to you. And now when you go in, what home sellers allow them to do, it is literally a platform that lets an agent take advantage of different opportunities to sell a house. So what our agents have been doing, and I'm going to have it come out on my social medias. We did an interview with an agent. She priced the home and she went aggressive. This home was expired. There's another home on that block. It's been on the market for 60 days. She went in and had the conversation with the seller, said, we're going to use this platform. This platform is designed to get more buyers to view your property ASAP, and it's designed to get them to start competing with each other in an open, almost like an auction style platform. And
Mhm.
by using this platform, what ended up happening was she sold that home in 14 days, got more than what the seller was asking for, and actually did not take the highest offer on the home because she's an agent who understands the market and said, if we took that offer, it wouldn't have appraised and would have caused a different set of issues. This is the offer that makes the most sense. So she still gets to be the fiduciary, the agent, and have that skill base to help the client. But what she didn't have to do all the work on was trying to find a way to make this seller understand who she is and use her. So now she's in, she gets that home sold. I went through, and as I was doing the interview, I'm sitting there on the front porch with her, and we're just walking through her scenarios. The neighbor came out, grabbed her card, said, I have people that I need to give to you. I saw the way that you moved this house. I saw all the people coming in and you got them out. And this house over there has been sitting, just sitting and sitting, and nobody even comes sees it. Whatever you are doing works, and you've got to be a better agent than the one who was trying to sell this house before and the agent working that other house. So now she's walked away with 4 listing referrals. And because of all the buyers who came in, she had 15 of them that were not represented by anybody else. And that is her new lead source. So think about today where we just talked about buyers do not have the same level of commitment. Buyers are not banging on your door as much as they once were. She just found a way to make herself so valuable that people are banging on her door and saying, I need to be a part of what you have going on because you're actually moving different in this world today. So yeah, that's what I've been partnering with. And so I do, I have a coach that I work with, and I have 7 different business lines that I'm a part of, right? Yes, I do a lot, and I coach, I'm involved in my kids' lives, so I'm always on the go. But I've been consulting and working with them also. But our agents love it. They absolutely love it. It is getting them business and it's letting them work through it. But also, I mentioned that lawsuit thing earlier, right? It's not about the lawsuit, it's about clients not trusting what we do, clients wanting to have something that validates the work that we put in more than just taking our word for it. And this isn't because we aren't trustworthy. It's because in every other industry there is right now, you have access to information. You have transparency to see everything and every part of what they do. Our industry is one of the few that there is not transparency in the entire part. If we're negotiating a deal, that negotiation pretty much stays between the agents, right, of what's really said. And now we got to take it back to our clients, and our clients have to trust that not only do we negotiate the best intent, that the deals that we're bringing back to them are one, every single deal. Two, that they understand the framework of the deal. They may just not understand the words coming out of our mouth. They don't have a way to see it. Well, home sale gives a way that they can see all of those things. They can see the details. They can see the negotiations take place. And when they see that happen, now you as the agent can actually go through and say, great, well, let's sit down and review these offers that have popped up. Let's talk about what each one of them is. It allows you to focus on what you really should be doing, which is being a guide and a steward to help them in to get to what their goal is, versus being the person again who's hoarding all the information and not letting it be known. And
Wow.
that's the difference, right? And so that's why, that agent, and that's why Tom, who was here earlier, that's why they're having so much success because their clients can see what's taking place and they trust them more, they use them more, they refer them out more because now every part of the process, they don't have to be a client going to ChatGPT at night saying, okay, so my agent said I got this offer, what should I do? Or what question should I ask my agent? It's all right there in front of them.
I love it. I love it. So keep your ears and eyes open for that interview because I think that'll be real informative. And again, I know I think you introduced us to part of that team.
Yeah.
I think when we were in Atlanta, and so
Yes.
what I
Yep.
love is that it still has legs because when you introduced them, then I thought, okay, sounds interesting. And yet now you've got the proof behind it, which is
So
significant, especially for someone who tends to be a little skeptical. I want to
I
make
am.
damn sure that it's working and it's
Yep.
working for somebody that I know and know well who's producing with it.
So you want to know something? I have to have a black hat. I am a forever optimist, so I think everything is going to turn out great. But my KPA, and if you guys aren't using your KPA to understand how you think, I'm telling you, keep it with you. I could pull mine up and throw it on the matter of fact, I'd have no problem doing it because I don't mind people knowing who I am. Although on social media, I'd like to keep some of my life private, but
Right,
I use my KPA to help me understand how I'm thinking through things.
right.
So I have to have a black hat because my optimism says I think it'll all work. But the only reason I feel that way is because I look through every scenario of a situation. And then if I know what every outcome is, then I'm positive about it all, right? Even if I know it's going to fail, I know when it will fail and I know how. And I would tell my leadership team, look, I can see the letters A and Z. So I know how we're going to start and how we're going to finish. Sometimes I miss the middle letters, and that's where I need your support. So I say that to say they actually were at our breakfast 4 years ago, or not the very first, I think the second one that we did.
In
They were there.
Vegas.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I was with them and we had a conversation because somehow, some way we got connected. And they went through what their business plan and their proposal was. And I gave them some tidbits and started consulting and helping out. I watched it grow from a few agents using it to now they're closing. I mean, we got hundreds of deals that are on the platform at one time and it's going from state to state. So we're watching it grow and become live and watching agents' business take off who are using it. So I will tell you in that area, if you want to be one of the people who can say, I can show you something that nobody else has, give me a call. I'll throw all my contact in. I will get you lined up. And matter of fact, we actually have a Zoom session coming up that Zach just sent to me. Um, Hold on one second. I'll tell you the time frame that they are going to do it.
And if you need Brandon's number and information that you don't pull from the chat here, just reach out to me and I'll make sure I can get it to you also.
Yep. All right, they got a Zoom coming up Thursday at noon where they'll walk through the platform, how to use it, and how to take advantage of it. So
Okay.
I'm going to put that in the chat too. So yeah, jump in, register, sign up for it.
Okay.
It'll be great. It can do wonders for your business.
Love
But
that.
yeah, I mean, so that kind of goes into more like, if I wanted to help somebody today, I would ask each of you who are in real estate, like, not just why you're in real estate, right? We all have our big whys and what we go through. But my question would be, how are you using real estate to cultivate an opportunity for not just yourself, but for others as well? There's a lot that we go through. Like our hands are really in a lot.
Mhm.
So example of this is so my different business ventures, transaction management company, the one that's outside of everything. I have a physical therapy clinic that I'm a part owner of. We have digital content creation. I have that company. Obviously, owning the ownership in the brokerage, being in the real estate, have a little bit of ownership in title company, some ownership in a mortgage company, and then I have my investment properties. So I guess we're in eight now because the mortgage company just came about and that's new, and then my consulting business as well. So I'm using all of those things because some of these came about because there's somebody who wanted more help in their world. They wanted to know, like, hey, our digital impression company. So that was a young man who played football for one of our agents. He was great with his camera. He had edited some great film work and just didn't know where he was going. I want to give you an opportunity. I want to figure out what can we do to help you get to your goal of taking care of your new family that you have, and you want to do more. And I'm seeing you go about it. But if you really look at MREA, which I got the book back here, I have the bonded version, it gives you the framework of how to build a business. And honestly, you could build that business out in any industry. So now what we're helping him do is build out his business in a way that works best for him. And we did it with a couple of different ones. And now I don't stay in them to own it long term, but I stay in to get it up and running, get the investment, and now give them something they can take off and run with. Right? We name this Rise and Grind. It gives them that opportunity to figure out what that grind is and then go after it. Now, how are we using our tools, our skill sets to help them with that? If you're really actively lead generating, and I'm going to tell you what the lead generation is, it's really just a funnel. It is a funnel of people that you know. How are you going out reaching new people and putting them into this funnel? And when they're in that funnel, it's about you just cultivating the relationship with them. If you cultivate that relationship and if they have a need, they call you, that is what your lead generation should do. Lead generation isn't just about, hey, I need to get a listing today. Who am I calling to get this listing? It is, I'm maintaining these relationships. So when that need arises, you call me. And when you call me, even if it's for, hey, I need to rip up this carpet and put some hardwood floors in. I was going to go to AB May, but who should I call? Oh man, I got the perfect guy for you. I need you to reach out to him. He may be too busy to take you, so he might not get you in for 2 months, but just give him a call and see what happens. Now they know that, again, for me, value was provided. Hey, I need to buy a new car. Yeah, well, I'm not in a car sales business, but you know what? One of the guys that I did a deal for a couple years ago, he works at the Lexus dealership. Give him a call, see what they have going on. Right now, we you made yourself valuable in everything that people do, where now you are so integrated that they can't help. So how are you using your influence for different opportunities that could be there, right? And not just opportunities for you, but opportunities for others as well.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, you got your hands in a lot of things, and I feel like I'm looking to do the same thing. I've got a few fingers over here, 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 and I'm looking for the next opportunity. So if you know something that I need to know, holler at me because you know how to get me.
Yeah.
Right. So and here's one thing. How did I feel like anytime we travel,
Mhm.
either between you and Emmerich, how did you land on that? Because I feel like you're like the organizer, Brandon. I feel like, there's notices that go out and you're like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing this. We got a breakfast here or there, dinner. How did all that come to be?
I
Right?
promise you, I don't even know. I really don't. Well,
I'm
part
glad
of
you
it is
stepped
this.
into that role though. And again, I think you
Yeah,
just
well,
accepted.
I'm gonna tell you. So the breakfast part. So I was working with. So Emmerich is. I go to Emmerich on a lot, right?
Mhm.
So if I'm wondering what I'm doing next, what move I'm going to make, I will call Emmerich. I will go sit in his office. when we opened our physical therapy clinic, it is close to Emmerich's office. So I actually used all his chairs and all his tables to do our grand opening. So we have a great relationship. So I'm going to tell you, keep a strong relationship with anybody that you meet, especially if we travel, go to family reunion mega camp. You never know how those relationships can evolve into something that can to just change your life, to be honest with you. So what happened was during COVID, um, interestingly enough, I actually was out of real estate in that moment. I was consulting for a Fortune 50 company, was driving revenue, driving growth for them. And then I actually knew about COVID before the mass public because we had a business venture in China and the well turned off like that. And when I say the well turned off, I'm talking about there was multiple, it was several million dollars that was involved in an investment, and it went from them being gung ho to everything has to stop, no more money will come out. It's on hold, and we had to do research, and we figured out there was a virus going on over there, and then it broke loose. So I had to lay off close to 300 people, 318 people to be exact. And then in that contract, I had to lay off the 319th person, which was myself. And I've never been, I was fired from one job in college, but I was quitting the same day that I was fired. So I walked in late. I'm an arrogant college student who was working three jobs at the time too. And I was like, I can't do this one anymore because my other job just gave me a big raise and I'm good. But anyways, so that was the first time that I ever felt like I wasn't enough. And then I turned into my kids' principal, their teacher, their lunch lady, their gym teacher, their coach. I turned into their teacher while they were doing homeschooling during that time. And as much as I love being involved in doing that, I realized that teachers are phenomenal people because I can't do it.
Hmm.
And I'm not good at it. But I'm working through it. And I just found myself, I mean, I guess call a spade, just depressed. Like I just couldn't figure out what to do next, right? Stayed in contact with all my real estate peeps, and then we can get into how I started this and did all that. But what happened was I was getting calls from people, and I was calling out to people I'm connected to because I guess I'm an extrovert who likes to be an introvert at times, but I'm an extrovert because I get my energy from people, right? So I was reaching out to people just figuring out what's going on, and I wasn't the only person who was facing a challenge. COVID hit a lot of people in different ways.
Yep.
And so I started doing Zoom calls um, with trusted individuals first. And those calls were open to just men to have a safe space to have a conversation. Your
Yep.
kids weren't allowed in the room, your wife, your significant other wasn't allowed. It was just for us to have a safe space to go through because a lot of us were facing the same challenge. And that just started with like my very, very close friends. We went on it and then it expanded out to where I was having multiple each night with different people across the country. So um, the first breakfast that we had in, I guess it was in Vegas, it started because several agents had been on calls and they said, we need to do this in person. And so the very first Brothers Brunch or Brothers Breakfast was the
Yep.
group of people who had been on those Zoom calls that we got together. And so it started off with actually, it started off with three people, went to nine. That brunch at that time, I think there were 20 people. And in Atlanta, we were like 110, right? So you
Yep.
see how it's grown and just
That's
expanded
crazy.
out. And I think from just being connected with people, I've become that go-to person of, hey, we know we're going. Call him. He knows somebody who knows what's happening, and we go from there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just being connected with people, but finding it. But you go back to my big why, right, or my purpose. If I can provide value, then I can sleep. And you know what? During COVID, putting those calls together and hearing people go through, and I mean, we talked about everything you could possibly imagine. Um, Having those calls gave me value. It gave me a sense of we help people in a certain way, and it let me go to sleep. Like I literally had pills because I could not go to sleep, and I was going to be medicated. I don't like taking medicine like that.
Right.
So I had to find some way to get value. I told you I can't sleep unless I provide value. So that's what got me over during COVID. And then I started just using those connections to build out opportunities, and then here we are.
Here we are. I'm so
Mhm.
glad that we're here, and it's interesting because I started this 6 years ago because of COVID, because I couldn't travel and see my brothers and sisters and cousins, right?
Yep.
So I thought, well, how do I stay connected with them? I.e., this platform was built. So, and as our time grows short, because it goes so quick, I'm
Yeah.
going to ask you one question. We'll finish here. because you've built and grown businesses through relationships.
Yep.
Tell me what's one relationship you almost didn't pursue that has changed your trajectory in your career?
Ooh, one relationship that I almost did not pursue that has changed it.
Mhm.
Um, all right. I got multiple answers to this because I'm going to shift it a little
All
bit
right, give it
differently.
give it to
But
me quick because we've got like 4 minutes. So
all right, so I have business relationships with people that I'm completely opposite with, right? Um, and this Lego car is on my desk for a specific reason. So you're not going to see eye to eye with everybody that you do business with. And if you see eye to eye with everybody that you do business with and there is no conflict, then your business is probably not going to grow when it hits certain challenges. You need to be able to have conflict to get to new resolutions. And conflict doesn't mean that you are at each other's throats. But that car, me and one of my business partners, we were basically at each other's throats. We couldn't see eye to eye. We couldn't get on the same page. We wanted the same goal. We just didn't like each other's idea of how to get there. And it became tense. And we actually have multiple businesses that we ran together. So that means you got three businesses that were feeling an off energy because we couldn't figure out how to communicate with each other. And so we did a team building exercise with one of the groups we were partnered with. And in that team building exercise, they put us as partners. And I am usually the one who's barking out instructions and carry out my vision and go forward. Well, in this task, it was to build this Lego car and she was the one who had to give me instructions and I had to just shut up and build, right? And in the midst of us being frustrated at each other, barely communicating, we went through and it was on a time deadline, and when it was all said and done, we almost had the car finished in that designated time. Every other group was nowhere near as close as we were. And what we realized in that moment is no matter how much we could see things differently, we operate well together and look what we can create. And so I keep this on my desk at all times just because it's a reminder to me that it is the people that make all the difference in the world, right? And if you have good people around you who will challenge you
yes.
and don't just say yes to everything that you do, you'll be amazed at what we can create. So you have that one. I will
That's
also
plenty.
say
That's plenty because that I think that makes the point that we need, and it's that we need people who help us level up and grow, even when sometimes there's conflict and difficulty. We grow through that and we stretch through that, as opposed to I think one of our problems now politically is our leader has folks who don't challenge him at all, and I'm going to
yeah,
leave it there, right?
yeah,
So, man, I can't say again. I told you it moves so quick that, and you've dropped so many damn nuggets, Mr. Connector, the relationship king. I think I'm gonna start calling you that,
yeah.
right?
Look, I will tell everybody who's on here, if there is a question that you have, if there is somebody that you want to be connected to, call me. I can't promise you that I know him. I can't promise you that I can get you connected to him, but I guarantee we can find a way to get there or we can find somebody who's close to it. And when I mean anything, I mean anything. We have agents that I've connected in Turkey,
Yeah.
Guyana, we've connected several people with. Hell, I've connected people with their senator because I am so close to DC that we're here. And somehow, some way, I've been fortunate enough that in my circle, I know somebody who knows somebody. And I guess I've done enough things right in my lifetime that people don't mind connecting me when the connection needs to be made.
And that'll continue to happen, my brother. So I look forward to hopefully seeing you in the next few months because I think August will be here just like that. So
Yes. Yes.
we're connecting. Guys, if you didn't get some from the day, boy, that's a you problem because Brandon brought plenty. He brought plenty in this 30 minutes that we have. So, Brandon, I appreciate you, man.